disadvantage. And that's what happened. Kelly started to go into the wrong kind of stuff. He didn't need that.
He got into Naz's world.
The next thing you know, he'll start fighting trashing.
They're both, and Kelly has an outstanding right jab. First hard punch of the fight is a straight right hand by Naseem.
Naseem, he landed the first jab. You don't want that.
And he lands two more.
Bob and weave. You don't want to get out there waiting.
Kelly has missed with most of his punches so far. Hamed has been able to land straight right hands. Pro fights, and he's been in too many wars for the taste of most of his supporters. They want to see Kevin box.
So far, Hamed has beaten Kelly to the punch.
Sixth round, he still believes that I can get a knockout, so he's willing to waste a few rounds.
First 2 minutes of the fight, Hamed is a puzzle that Kelly is unable to solve. But down goes the Prince on Kelly's first serious landed punch. A looping right hand put Hamed down. Second time in his career he's been down in the first round. Puerto Rican Daniel Alisea was able to do it too. Also in the first round, but then Hamed came back to knock him out in the second.
We all were wondering what was going to happen when he caught a punch from Kelly. We saw it.
Yeah, Kelly believes in his power, so you'll never discourage him, even if his eyes are swollen, if he's cut.
Kelly just missed with a hard left hand. Hamed switches into a conventional stance. Kevin, for a couple of beats, was in a conventional stance himself. Now he goes back to his regular southpaw. Hamed switching from side to side as he faces the man who has floored him in the first round.
Now watch Hamed commit a cardinal sin in boxing, leaning back after throwing a flurry. Kelly was there and caught him.
Only 10 punches in the first round, but it only took one to do the damage which won him the round.
Now they will get a good, powerful right jab by Kevin Kelly.
Strong jab. Backs Naseem up. Naseem in the ropes. First time he's been in the ring with a fighter of Kevin Kelly's class. The wonderful thing coming into tonight was you knew that anything could happen. And one of the things that could happen would be that the Prince was exposed as a fraud. His gloves touch the canvas. The count begins. The second knockdown for Kelly. So one knockdown in each round now for Kevin Kelly.
Yeah, I think the last knockdown was fluke.
Kelly was down. I thought that was a knockdown that Kelly should have been scored.
So it does not count as a knockdown against Kelly. Hamed's been down twice. The knockdown, the apparent knockdown of Kelly ruled a slip. Hard right hand inside by Kelly.
The Prince has not seen this kind of power before.
Well, but Hamed is supposed to have power of his own with his quickness, and we haven't seen the evidence of that as yet.
I think the mistake he made.
There we
Hard
saw
right
it right
hand,
there.
There's the power. There's the power you were talking about. And Kelly is stunned.
Hey, come on, man.
And Hamed nods to him. Now we're in a fight.
Kelly gets out of his boxing stance and decides to go to war.
The more Naseem decides to be orthodox, the more trouble he gets himself into. So it's at his advantage to stay wild. Drop your hand, make this guy wait for you.
Kelly lands a hard chopping left.
You can see Naseem is trying to get the rhythm to Kelly.
He's going to come to a close, having seen knockdowns.
We don't see this very often in one round, a fighter getting knocked down twice. You saw that Kelly landed a left and then a right. The first one was a knockdown. The referee was a little late getting in as he got up again. But he did bounce up, give him that. And they're flush on the jaw. Kelly, like Junior Jones, his pal in the first fight, got a little cocky with his power, left himself open, and caught one from Hamed.
And that's what was ruled a slip right there, Larry.
Because even though they split knockdowns, his knockdown was more convincing, and he landed more punches in the rest of the round.
Naseem is getting hit with
From side to side, trying to get away from punches. Takes a hard left from Kelly there. And lands a hard right hand of his own.
Kevin Kelly's got true power. He's real accurate with his straight left hand. That was a good jab by Kevin Kelly that did some damage.
Kelly lands a left cross. Hamed ducking, sliding along the road here as the result of the damage that Kevin Kelly's been able to do.
Yeah, it's the jab by Kevin Kelly that's being most effective now. If he just maintained that right jab, he can make this an easy fight.
And as we pointed out, that's another thing Phil Borgia said. He said, my man has the better jab.
Dropping his hands in there is not... Got to keep your hands up with a guy like Kelly.
Fused on how to break through Kelly's guard.
They trade right hands. Kevin's was the harder of the two. Good left uppercut by Prince Naseem. Right hand lands again as well. Naseem starting to come out of his shell and get more aggressive again.
You want to say to Naseem, because they do what they do, it makes them so good.
When he was 7 years old, asking his fighter not to get into a war.
It's not an easy thing to do. When you're fighting a boxer with a jab, you almost have to war, get into a war. Kelly's got a good left jab, right jab.
He sure does. Naseem lands a couple power punches. Kevin Kelly lands a hard left hand. Kelly misses with the right and misses wildly, but Naseem not in a position to counter either time. Hard left hand.
Watch that elbow.
Seems that Kevin Kelly is getting the best of the counterpunching. You would expect the opposite.
Trade in short bursts and flurries. Naseem landing more accurately in this round than has been the case before, but taking some leather in return. Down goes Kelly on two hard left hands.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Now they're even. Both fighters down twice in the fight.
Ooh, a good
Blistering right hand by Hamed. Kelly a little slow to respond here.
You got to be careful mixing up with Kelly because he can fight.
And that's going to be ruled a knockdown as Naseem's glove grazed the canvas. So there's the count for that. Third knockdown of Hamed by Kelly, and the Naseem advocates in the crowd boo that. Hard left hand by Kelly, and a right hand shot. Leaping right hand by the Prince.
Ooh.
And a hard left. And Kelly's down for the third time.
Whoa!
6, 7, 8, 9.
He's got a half a minute, and he is
gone.
definitely hurt.
He's
and the
for real.
fight is over. We have never seen a fight like this in the featherweight division on this level.
He couldn't resist it. Couldn't resist it. It seemed too easy.
But this Prince,
The undefeated WBO featherweight champion of the world, Prince Naseem Hamed.